What's going on? What's going on, team? Welcome back to another week. Welcome back to another weekly Stock Talk. My name is Xander with Fates of Trading Academy, and today we're going to be talking about all the opportunities that we have lined up for this upcoming week. We're going to talk about the S&P 500. We'll talk about the NASDAQ. We'll do a technical analysis on each of those and kind of discuss where those are at and where they can be going, as well as talk about all the different stocks that have pulled back along with the market pulling back and earnings causing them to pull back, presenting a very great opportunity to possibly jump into them if you see value in them. So if that's something that you guys are interested in, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. We do this every single week. And stay tuned for the list of stocks that we're going to be talking about today. A lot of them have great risk to reward ratios, great potential for profit. So if you stick around, you might just make a few dollars in profit on each of those. So the first one we're going to be talking about is going to be obviously the S&P 500. So we've been talking about this for pretty much a very long time, especially when it got right up here to this resistance level that we've been pretty much trending next to before this correction happened. So we weren't very surprised that it did happen because we were expecting this to happen. However, if you guys haven't been watching, then you guys probably weren't aware that this is probably something that could occur very soon. And this is exactly what happened. So we've been trading in this channel for, ever since November. And once again, we've been testing that resistance, testing it once again, tested it once again, and then we ended up getting rejected and pulled back. We didn't pull back all the way down to the support. However, we did pull back a fair amount to, consider that this is pulling back to that point. So we pulled back. We ended up bouncing at this level, not quite the support. However, it could have reversed at any point. So we ended up getting a nice reversal. And Thursday and Friday, we ended up seeing a nice push to the upside. We did get up to this SMA level, and we are starting to see some consolidation happening here. So before, we jump into the opportunities, you must consider the fact that, what happens if we, get rejected and head to the downside. Not saying that that's what's going to happen, but you want to prepare for both situations, right? If it's going to pull to the upside, you want to be ready. And if it starts getting rejected from this SMA level, you also want to be ready in case it does pull back. That way you're not too overexposed, right? So that's pretty much what's happening here. What I'm personally expecting is I'm expecting some consolidation and a potential head to the upside if we continue to see bullish sentiment in the markets, right? We are starting to see a change of color in the MACD, so be prepared for it to potentially, make maybe a correction back down to the support level. However, we broke the support level that we've been holding. That is now a support, but it used to be a resistance, right? When we dropped below it, it became a resistance. And then on the way up, we did break this resistance and now it's a support. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback once again to that support. But, we can always continue to the upside if we get that bullish market sentiment in Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, right? So that's pretty much what's happening with the S&P 500. I wouldn't be surprised if we, retest this 420, 430 level and retest this resistance level right up at the top. But it really just depends on what's going on in the markets, what's going on in the country, in the world in general, kind of what's going on, right? So we'll see what happens on Monday and Tuesday. And I think that's really going to help us see which way the market's going to continue to head. If we're going to be, pulling back even more, or if we're going to start heading to the upside and return to, all-time highs. The next one we're going to be looking at is the NASDAQ /NQ. I would expect this to be fairly similar to what we saw in the S&P 500. And, it's a little bit of a different pattern that we're watching. However, the moral is the same, right? We ended up pulling back from all-time highs that we were hugging right up here. Just as we were with the S&P 500, we pulled back, broke this resistance, pulled back to this next support level, didn't quite touch it. However, we did end up pulling up to the upside. So we'll have to see what happens on Monday and Tuesday. That's really what's going to tell us if we're going to continue higher or if we're going to start seeing another pullback and potentially go back down to the support level. So that's kind of what's going on with the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And now let's jump into the opportunities that we're watching for this upcoming week, right? So the first one's going to be Aapl, AAPL. So this one, we ended up seeing a nice pullback. We had earnings coming out that kind of caused it to pull back. We also had the market selling off. So this last week and a half, 2 weeks, We've been seeing significant pullback happening in Aapl. And then we ended up bouncing at the support that we've respected back in March. And beginning of March and end of February. So we ended up pulling back to that level, bounced here. We ended up breaking the EMA and started heading to the upside here on Thursday and Friday. When the market was pushing up, this pushed up. So once again, this really is going to go off of what the market's doing. If the market continues to the upside, we'll see a continuation to the upside. We did get up to this resistance level. So this is a potential that we might sell off and get rejected by this resistance level. Like I said, once again, Monday and Tuesday is really what's going to dictate what's going to happen with a lot of these stocks. If the market's going to pull back, most of these are going to start pulling back as well. So don't go in too heavy with the first position, right? Go, if you're trying to get in, maybe test it with a 10% starter position. But don't go 100% into a position, especially in this particular moment. Let's see what happens on Monday. And if it confirms that it's going to continue to head to the upside, then you can definitely add more size. However, if it's pulling back, it's not the wisest thing to jump in with a full position, because we can easily come back down to these support levels that we were just at. So from current price points to the recent highs, we're looking at about 7% on Aapl, and all-time highs, we're looking at about 11%, 12%. So that's kind of what's going on here. We aren't very overextended here on the RSI, so we got room to go. No change of color here on the MACD. So we are still looking good on that as well. So this is definitely going to be one to be watching on your watch list. The next one is going to be Airbnb, ABNB. We're going to go through these fairly quickly because there is a lot of them. But the general idea with all of these is fairly the same. Market pulled back, earnings happened. We saw a huge pullback in the market. So all of these are presenting a very good opportunity. So huge pullback here with Airbnb. If you were trying to ever get into Airbnb, this would probably be the time. We did approach these bottom levels here that we haven't seen ever since basically the end of last year. So we're approximately at that same level. So if you didn't get in at that point, this could potentially be a great point for you to jump in on. We did break the EMA here on Friday, and then we do have plenty of room to run on the RSI. And as well, we also had earnings happen, and we did end up seeing some bullish movement after earnings. So this could be a runner, one to consider. From current price points to where it was before this whole sell-off happened, we're looking at about 20% to all-time highs. We're looking at about 34%. So huge profit potential for profit on Airbnb. Definitely one to add to your watch list and consider. The next one's going to be AMD. This one here is going to be, it's taking a little bit to load. This one here, we ended up pulling back to this very low support level that once again we saw pretty much in September of last year. We haven't been at these lows ever since, last year. We did get close here back in March, and now we're at this same level. So from current price points to recent highs before earnings happened, we're looking about 15% all-time highs. We're looking at, approximately 24%. So huge profit potential there. Earnings already happened, market already pulled back. So we did find support and we started to rebound. We broke the EMA. This looks good. Plenty of room to run on the RSI. We're about 48, not quite at 50, but if the bullish sentiment in the market continues, we'll definitely see this pushing up, in my opinion. Plenty of room to run on the MACD as well. So great opportunity. The next one that we're going to be looking at is Amazon, AMZN. This one here, massive pullback. Earnings happened, market started pulling back, and this ended up pulling back as well. From 36.67, we went all the way down to 31.12. And then we're starting to rebound, broke the EMA. Once again, plenty of room on the RSI, plenty of room on the MACD. From current price points to previous highs, we're looking about 10%. Amazon, if you don't, you should know the company by now. It's definitely a stable company. It's going to be around for a very long time. They're doing very, very well. And we're at pretty much fairly low prices for where it used to be throughout this entire year. So definitely something to consider. Definitely a great opportunity. One to definitely add to your watch list. The next one's going to be CARS, CARS. This one here, this one caught my eye. Didn't have anything significant pull back. However, we have seen a steady steady trend to the upside here on this stock, in particular. We did end up pulling back right after earnings, nothing crazy, but we did pull back to these lows, and now we are breaking up to the upside above the SMA. So from current price points to recent highs, we're looking about 12%. Nothing crazy. However, like I said, this stock has been trending to the upside fairly consistently throughout this entire, 5-6 months. So I'm fairly feeling good on this one, that this one's just going to continue to steadily increase in value. We had earnings come out, nothing crazy happened. In fact, it actually rallied. Earnings came out, we actually rallied. Earnings came out, and then we actually rallied right after as well. So in my opinion, this one's doing fairly well. Plenty of room on the RSI, and this one is starting to reverse here on the MACD. So the next one that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be Harvana Cvna. Huge pullback. You guys already know the drill. Earnings, market pulling back, and earnings coming out. We saw a huge pullback. Ended up pulling back, broke the EMA here on Friday. We are sitting at 44 on the RSI. Plenty of room to run if the market, supports that with the bullish sentiment, and the RSI or the MACD as well doing fairly well. So from current price points to current recent highs, we're looking about 20% here on Harvana. And then I'd probably manage my risk at, probably like 3-4% on this one. Huge potential for profit here. We have been trading in this channel for a very long time, pretty much all year long. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing rebound to that resistance level at the top, approximately 20% profit potential. The next one that we're going to be taking a look at, DraftKings, DKNG. Huge pullback here, consistent uptrend throughout this entire year, the last few months. And then we ended up seeing a nice, huge pullback. We ended up finding support on this resistance level that we formed all the way back here in November. So that ended up showing us that, this is still a fairly significant level. Volume profile confirmed that. We broke the EMA here on Friday. We are sitting at 50 on the RSI, so we're looking good there. Plenty of room to run. MACD is looking good. And, obviously the technicals from the chart is looking good as well. We are seeing some increase in volume. Also seeing bullish volumes. That's looking good as well. From current price points to the recent highs before it dumped right on before earnings, we're looking about 24%. All-time high, we're looking about 38%. So great stock. This pullback is definitely very attractive with the profit potential. Probably manage my risk around $40 here on this one. From current price points, we're about 45. The next one's going to be eBay. We actually caught this one last week as well. This one, we ended up pulling back on this nice pullback right after earnings. This was a great catch here. We talked about it last week. If you guys want, check out last week's weekly stock talk. We talked about this one. But regardless, we did push up, and we're still seeing a nice push to the upside as well. So we did break the SMA, and then we ended up pulling back, and then now we're breaking the SMA once again. We are above the EMA, plenty of room to run. We are about 63 on the RSI. Got plenty of room on the MACD to head up to the upside. And so from current price points to recent highs, we're looking at about 7%. This is more of a, nothing crazy, but the opportunity is definitely there. So I would definitely consider this one for sure and add it to your watch list. The next one that we're going to be taking a look at is Nflx, Nflx. Huge pullback. This one consolidated right after earnings pulled back, and then after earnings caused it to pull back, and then we ended up seeing another sell-off happen, mostly due to the market selling off, in my opinion. So we ended up getting even a better deal here. So we have been trading in this channel here for pretty much all year long. We could adjust this to, resemble what we have been seeing. So we've been trading in this channel pretty much since September. So we're at the low of this channel. So this is, in my opinion, a very good deal for the stock that this is. Stable stock, stable company, great company. Especially if you use this, then, how cool would it be to be a part of a company at a great deal when a market pulled back, just to be able to profit, potentially pay even for your membership, heading to the upside by just capitalizing on this deal right here. So from current price points to recent highs where we were before earnings, we're looking about 12%. This is also where we have that resistance level as well. So definitely consider this and add it to your watch list. The next one we're going to be looking at is going to be Open, OPEN. Huge pullback here on open. We have been trading steadily to the downside. So, you know, earnings caused this last pullback, and then we had more pullback happening because of earnings here as well. We also had the market selling off. So this one hasn't been doing too hot ever since pretty much February. And we have been trending below this SMA line. So with this one, we are breaking above the EMA line. I would add it to your watch list for sure. From current price points to recent all-time highs, we're looking at about 58%. Very attractive profit potential. However, you mostly get more confirmation here at this SMA line at about $19. So I would probably stay very light on this position, especially if we see more, rebound happening. If I see this rallying and the volume really, helps this out, definitely one to consider. I would add this to your watch list and watch this one for now. But that's pretty much what's going on with open. The next one is going to be PENN, PENN. So this one here, PENN National Gaming, huge pullback here from 142. We pulled back all the way down to pretty much this 74 level, and then we ended up stabilizing here. This didn't really pull back. This has been pretty much pulling back for some time. I wouldn't say this is caused by earnings or the market pulling back, although market pulling back, I'd probably say did have an effect on this. But this one has been pulling back for some time. We ended up finding support here at the support that we had all the way back in November. We had it all the way back in September. That used to be a resistance. So now it's a support. So on the way down, it's a support. We ended up finding a support here, and now we're starting to rebound here. So definitely add this to your watch list. Consider this one. This is one that's interesting for you. This one has a profit potential of about 42%. Very attractive. Definitely a great deal on this, in my opinion. So that's another one to add to your watch list. The next one is going to be PINS, P-I-N-S, Pinterest. Huge pullback, earnings pulled back, and then we had the market selling off, so this pulled back even more. So this one, we are starting to see a push above this EMA. I'll probably wait for Monday and Tuesday to really confirm that. I wouldn't want to jump into this too early, but this is a fairly great deal. We haven't seen these prices since basically November of last year. So definitely one to consider. From current price points to pre-earnings price, we're looking about 24%. All-time high, we're looking at about 34%. Everybody knows Pinterest. I think this company is going to do fairly well in the long run. But, with this pullback, I think you're getting a very attractive deal. Once again, make sure that the market is actually pushing to the upside if you're jumping in on this deal. And don't just jump in just because you obviously heard this video and it's pulled back so much. It can continue to pull back. So make sure the market's doing well. And I think this one's going to follow the market and do well with the market. If the market's going to continue to sell off, we'll probably see more selling happening in Pinterest. But, very attractive deal, very attractive to add to your watch list. We are sitting here at the -2 standard deviation as well. So we can't spend too much time down here. So in my opinion, I think this is definitely going to push up at least up to, 70, this SMA line, or not higher. So we'll see what happens with Pinterest. We'll see what happens on Monday and Tuesday. The next one we're going to be taking a look at is going to be SKLZ. So this one, huge pullback happening here as well. We ended up seeing this channel breakout happen, and then we ended up pretty much consolidating at this point. So I would say we're just consolidating at this general area here. It would probably be this resistance level, and then we'd have the support level right here. So we broke out of this channel, and now we're just consolidating in this level. So I would probably wait for a break above this SMA line at about 1698, 1710. Once that breaks out, that'd probably be the greatest confirmation for you that this is starting to head to the upside. So from current price points, or let's even measure from the SMA line to all-time highs, we're looking at about 62% profit potential. Huge profit potential. You want to make sure the volume really helps with that. We've started seeing an increase in volume. We were very low volume out here, and now we're seeing more and more volume. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing rebounded. However, make sure that the market's pushing up once again, and make sure we break above this SMA line before you think about jumping in. Definitely one to add to your watch list. Huge profit potential, very attractive. So the next one we're going to take a look at is going to be Square, SQ. Huge pullback once again. have been trading in this channel pretty much since February. We've been trading in this channel. Huge pullback, found support here. Earnings, market pulling back. This ended up pulling back. I think Square is going to do very, very well long term. They have, huge potential as a company. And I think at this price point, considering that we're at 209 and we had highs of 283, I think this is a fairly great deal. I think if the market continues to push to the upside, we'll see a push to the upside in this one as well. So from current price points to even recent highs, we're looking about 18-19%. A little further out, we've seen highs of 25%, and all-time highs we're looking at about, well, that's about, all-time highs as well. So that's about 26%, 25-26%. Very strong company. A company I personally like. So I find this deal very attractive. We have seen support here. We've seen support here once again at that same level, same support at the same level, same support at the same level. And we had support out here at that same level. So this is a very strong support level. So this bounce here could be the beginning of a potential reversal. So make sure to add it to your watch list and consider that for sure. The next one that we're going to be adding and taking a look at is going to be one of my favorites. It's going to be Twitter, TWTR. And this is going to be the last one that we're going to be taking a look at. So Twitter here, we ended up seeing massive pullback right after earnings happened. Massive pullback, and then we had the market selling off, which caused us to pull back even more. We are starting to see a break through this EMA line, and we are starting to see a push to the upside here on the RSI. We're at about 49, almost 50. So that's looking very, very good on the RSI. And the MACD, we have huge potential and a huge room to run on the MACD. So from current price points to even recent pre-earnings highs, we're looking about 23%. If we're going to look at all-time highs, we're looking at about 34%, which is huge in my opinion. So very, very attractive deal here. And I think this one's going to do and recover very well after earnings. It's just a matter of what's going to really happen on Monday and Tuesday. So I encourage you guys to, be patient on Monday and Tuesday. If you don't have to, don't take a trade, or, you could if you'd like, and if it starts heading to the upside. However, I'd encourage you to at least wait, the first hour or so and really check out what's happening with the market overall. Is it pushing to the upside? Is it pushing to the downside? You don't want to jump in on a falling knife, right? You don't want to jump in on something that's going to keep selling off. So I encourage you guys to do that. Add these stocks to your watch list, pay attention to them, make sure to have, your supports and resistances leveled out, and make sure that you guys are creating, doing your technical analysis on all of these and your fundamental analysis, right? Make sure to be paying attention to what's happening with the market. Once again, guys, if you guys enjoy this video and you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. That way you guys get notified first. We do these videos every single week. And if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys gained some knowledge from this and you found some value, make sure to smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on next week's video.